You know, if I ask you to picture ancient Egypt, I bet there's one image that just pops right into your head. It's probably not a pyramid, maybe not even the Sphinx. It's that, well, that stunning solid gold face of Tutankhamun's funerary mask. Yeah, that mask. It's way more than just an artifact, isn't it? It's like the ultimate symbol of a whole civilization. Their power, their beliefs, their wealth, all wrapped up in one object. It's become this global icon, really. Timeless. But behind all that fame, there's this really interesting question. Why this one thing? Why is it seen as, the most valuable artifact in the entire world? Not just costly, but invaluable. Okay, let's unpack this. That's what we're doing in this deep dive today. We want to get past just the famous picture. We're going to dig into its sacred purpose, the incredible craftsmanship, and yeah, the tricky question of its value. Why is its worth just dwarf everything else?
Right. And to really get it, we need to place it in time first.
Yeah.
We're talking about King Tutankhamun. He was a pharaoh of the 18th Dynasty, actually relatively minor in the grand scheme of things. His reign was short, maybe 1332 to 1323 BC, roughly. But that puts him right in the New Kingdom period.
And the New Kingdom, that was a big deal, right?
Oh, absolutely crucial. This was Egypt at its peak. The massive empire, huge holding projects, trade routes stretching far and wide, and tons of gold, especially from Nubia. So Tutankhamun's tomb and the mask itself, they're products of this incredibly wealthy, powerful, centralized state. That's the backdrop.
That context, that sheer power and wealth makes its survival even more amazing. I mean, we're talking almost 3,500 years old. But the discovery, that's much more recent, a 20th century story. And here's where it gets really interesting. Finding the mask itself. So the tomb, KV62 in the Valley of the Kings. Howard Carter found that in November 22.
And that discovery, just the tomb entrance, it grabbed the whole world's attention immediately. But the mask, people had to wait. It wasn't actually revealed until 1925, 3 whole years later. Carter had to painstakingly work through all the chambers, the shrines, the coffins, layer by layer.
And it's so important to remember, Carter didn't just find a beautiful object. He found something essential for the king's eternal life. The mask's purpose was fundamentally spiritual.
Spiritual? How so, exactly?
Well, the ancient Egyptians believed the spirit, the Ba, and the life force, the Ka, they needed to reunite with the body after death, for resurrection, for eternal life. But the mummification process, well, it made the body hard to recognize, didn't it? So this mask, incredibly lifelike, gilded, placed right on the mummy's head.
Ah, okay.
It acted like a permanent, perfect, divine stand-in. A marker, if you will, so the soul wouldn't get lost trying to find its way back. It was the anchor for immortality.
So not just fancy decoration, it was literally his ticket to the afterlife.
Wow. And the artistry, you can see that divine power packed right into it.
Definitely. Like the headdress, the famous striped one. You've got the vulture and the cobra heads right there at the front.
Yes, Wadjet and Nekbet.
Right. And those aren't just random animals. They symbolize the goddesses protecting Upper and Lower Egypt, don't they? The unity of the kingdom.
Precisely. Political and spiritual control, all shown right there. And then there's the back of the mask, something you don't always see in photos.
What's on the back?
Dense columns of hieroglyphs. They're spells, essentially. Protections taken straight from the Book of the Dead, chapter 151b specifically. These inscriptions were meant to protect the pharaoh's body parts, guide his spirit, basically ensure safe passage through the underworld. It's more than art. It's like a divine GPS for eternity made from pure gold.
A divine GPS. I like that. Which brings us straight to the value question, doesn't it?
Exactly. This is the core challenge. How do we value something like this? It's fascinating because everyone agrees it's the world's most valuable artifact, but you can't actually put a price tag on it. Its worth just goes way beyond money.
Okay, but let's start with the money side, the material value. Because just the raw materials are pretty mind-blowing.
They are.
This isn't gold paint or thin leaf. It's solid gold.
Yeah.
About 10.23 kilograms, which is, what, nearly 23 pounds?
That's right. Almost 23 pounds of ancient gold alloy. Hammered, shaped.
I mean, just melting that down today would be worth, well, a lot. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, easily. But that's obviously not the point, is it?
Not even close.
What about the techniques? What makes the metalwork itself so special, beyond just the sheer weight of gold?
The technique is where it becomes truly exceptional. The face, the head. They were made using repoussé. That means hammering the sheet metal from the inside out to create the shape.
Right.
Doing that with such precision, especially with relatively pure, soft gold, it takes incredible skill. And then you have the inlay work.
the blue stripes.
Yes, the deep blue stripes on the headdress. That's not paint. It's actual lapis lazuli, a semi-precious stone they had to import all the way from what's now Afghanistan.
Wow, Afghanistan.
Thousands of miles away. And they use other stones, too, like jasper, carnelian. And think about it. They had to cut these brittle stones perfectly to fit into tiny gold channels seamlessly. It just shows the absolute peak of jewelry making back in the 18th Dynasty.
So amazing materials, unbelievable craftsmanship, and this profound divine purpose. But if it's priceless, why do we keep seeing these crazy numbers thrown around? Billions, even trillions of dollars in some fictional estimates. Why try to price the unpriceable?
Well, that gets into different kinds of value, doesn't it? There's what something might sell for, which is zero in this case. It belongs to Egypt. It's never going on auction.
Right.
Then there's things like insurance value or maybe a theoretical replacement cost for exhibition loans. When you hear those huge figures, that's usually what they're trying to estimate.
So insurance value,
Yeah.
what goes into that? It can't just be the golden stones.
Oh, absolutely not. Replacing it isn't just about getting 10 kilos of gold. It's about finding people who could even attempt to replicate those ancient techniques, sourcing authentic lapis. The decades, maybe centuries, of scientific conservation know-how needed just to maintain something this old and precious.
Okay, yeah.
When you factor all that in, the skills, the material sourcing, the ongoing preservation science, the theoretical cost just becomes, well, astronomical. It's almost meaningless in practical terms.
That brings up a more recent, maybe slightly awkward part of its history, the conservation side. Didn't something happen with the beard a few years back?
Yes. The beard incident. That's right. For listeners who might not recall, back in 2015, the braided beard piece, the blue and gold one attached to the chin, it got accidentally knocked off by museum staff.
Oh, dear.
And instead of calling in the specialist conservators immediately, there was a bit of a panic, and they tried to stick it back on quickly using epoxy glue, like hardware store glue.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Epoxy.
Yep, epoxy. Now, thankfully, a top-notch German-Egyptian team was brought in later, and they fixed it properly, meticulously removed the glue, and reattached it using correct conservation methods. But the whole incident
Caused a huge uproar, I imagine.
massive. Global headlines, investigations. It really showed how fragile this icon is, but also the intense feeling around it. It wasn't just damage to an object. It felt like an insult to a national symbol. That public and political reaction proves its moral and symbolic value is just off the charts, far beyond any monetary figure.
Right, it's that symbolic weight, and the fact it was found in situ, right where it was placed during the funeral rites thousands of years ago. That makes it this perfect, unbroken link to the past.
Exactly. Most things we find are broken, scattered, incomplete. This mask, within its tomb context, tells a whole story. It's a complete witness.
So what does this mean for anyone wanting to see it today? Its location is key to its story now, right?
Absolutely.
For years, decades really, you had to go to the old Egyptian Museum in Tahrir Square. Amazing place, but often very crowded. That's changed now, hasn't it?
It has, significantly. The mask has been moved. Its permanent home is now the new Grand Egyptian Museum, the GM, right above the Giza pyramids.
The GM. And that move is important. Why?
It's hugely important. The GM was purpose-built to house the entire Tutankhamun collection, over 5,000 objects found in the tomb. We're talking chariots, furniture, weapons, statues, jewelry, everything.
Everything together. Because before, it was kind of split up, wasn't it? Some on display, some in storage.
Exactly. For the first time, you can see pretty much the entire find all displayed together. And seeing the mask in that context, surrounded by all the other treasures, meant to equip the king for the afterlife. That's how you grasp its true significance.
Context is everything.
It shows the mask wasn't just some isolated masterpiece. It was the absolute pinnacle, the focus of this vast, intricate system of belief and preparation for eternity. It pulls the whole collection together.
Yeah.
So if we connect this all back, the mask is considered the most valuable artifact, yes, partly for the gold, the gems, the artistry, but mostly because it's a complete, tangible, undeniable link to a specific moment, a specific person, an entire worldview from over 3,000 years ago. It's history made solid, a story perfectly preserved.
That idea of a complete narrative, that really hits home. It's like this perfect storm, isn't it? Incredible wealth, deep spiritual meaning, and just sheer unbelievable luck that it survived untouched for millennia. It gives us this unbroken line right back to 1323 BC. Amazing.
And maybe that leaves us with a question to think about. We value the mask so highly because Tutankhamun's tomb, and therefore his story, was found almost complete. So if that completeness, that full narrative is what makes it so incredibly precious, What does that say about all the incomplete finds? This single fragment of pottery, the broken statue, the eroded inscription.
Right.
How much effort, how much imagination does it take to try and piece together the vast stretches of human history where we don't have a complete witness, like Tutankhamun's mask? What other stories are still out there, fragmented, waiting for us to try and understand them?
What other complete witnesses might still be hidden? A powerful thought to end on. Keep wondering about those gaps in the story. Thanks for diving deep with us today.